I want to make a quick point about former Governor Bruce Rauner and soon-to-be former President of the United States, Donald Trump, and how they tricked the people into letting them attain the highest offices in their land, and how we can keep them from doing it again. It's a jam-packed episode. A narrative structure dictates that I talk about how they got elected in the first place before I talk about beating them. And that's fine, because that's the more contentious issue. And when I say that it's contentious, what I mean is I have ideas about that are much different than what other people might have. So I know a lot of people, maybe 24, who voted for Bruce Rauner and for Donald Trump. And not only can I tell you that they espoused similar sentiments about both of them, but that it's not exactly what you think. The single biggest thing, at least as far as I can tell, that contributed to the electoral victories that Trump and Rauner, let's say, suffered, is disillusionment that the people who voted for them had with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. People aren't stupid. They know when they're being fooled, they know when they're being taken advantage of, and most of the time they know who's doing it. And people know that the government and other larger systems, that is to say capitalism, are doing the taking advantage of. It's not anything to do with one party or the other. These people are equally disillusioned with both parties. I spent an entire month talking about how ordinary people have lost control of their electoral functions, at least on a federal level. And I know that because other people know that. Because people aren't stupid, and you need to get it out of your head that they are. Now, that's not to say that things like the smothering, unremitting racism that Donald Trump demonstrated during the election, or, say, the Russian collusion, or gerrymandering even, in Trump's case especially, didn't contribute to either of these people's victories. Rather, what I'm saying is that all of those things, even the racism, were more effective because of this disillusionment that people felt towards existent systems. People want reform. They know their lives suck, and they want their lives to get better. And if someone they know tells them, I can make your life better, then they're going to believe that person. I mentioned in my last video that I feel most of the contention people had with Obama was unearned. Let's say unearned. That's ultimately part of a topic I'm going to cover, not next week, but the week after that, on the 23rd, I think. I am not good at dates or numbers in general, but I do want to state here that a great deal of that unearned contention was stroked deliberately, and for the purpose of creating a division that someone like Trump could take advantage of. So if I understand Marx correctly, and I don't because I'm a rube from cornfield land, Marx said that capitalism will not be destroyed until it creates an environment in which it can destroy itself. So much of this is framed on beating people like Trump, people like various assorted fascists, your Chris Cantwells, your David Dukes, your Richard Spencers. We don't need to do that. These people have already beaten themselves. Indeed, if there's anything that the last election cycle taught us, it's that these people are already losing. Now, former Governor Rauner lost the election by 714,000 votes. I'm to understand that he's living in Italy now. That same election, the GOP lost 6 other governorships. Granted, the GOP still holds 27 out of 50 governorships, but that's having to take into account the unremittent voter fraud that they pulled in North Carolina and in Georgia. A lot of the, let's say current crop of Republicans we're seeing are people who were affiliated with the Tea Party. They had a chance to govern, and not only did they fail, but they failed catastrophically. Not just Bruce Rauner here in Illinois, but Sam Brownback in Kentucky, Pat McCrory in North Carolina, Rick Snyder in Michigan, Scott Walker in Wisconsin, Paul LePage in Maine, Rick Scott in Florida. All of these have been catastrophic governorships. And all of them are gone. And they're gone because people aren't stupid. They know when they're being taken advantage of, they know when they're being fooled, and they usually know who's fooling them. Do you get it? Do you get... I feel like I shouldn't be having to tell you this. And yet here we are. The thing that needs to be understood above anything else, at least as far as this video is concerned, is that people have already rejected the ideas of people like Donald Trump, of people like Pat McCrory or Rick Snyder, of people like Bruce Rauner. And they rejected them because they failed. Our job isn't to beat those ideas. Our job is to point and say, hey, here's some new ideas. Want to give these a shot? Oh boy, I'm cutting it close. No editing run this week either. I'm in a hurry again. I'm gonna go stay with friends for a little while because they have, they're having, let's call it an emergency? I have a friend who's having a baby. Next week's topic is going to be at least as contentious as this, maybe more. It's going to be about the white working class and validation. Oh, this is gonna be bad. But, yeah. Until we get there, take care of yourselves, alright?